Greetings, TheWarOwl greets you. I'm done playing matchmaking, I'm done playing Premiere until they fix the cheater problem. We just had what I think is one of the dumbest cheating problems in the history of Counter-Strike. Up until just recently, it was possible to enable built-in client-side cheats in Counter-Strike 2 by entering a console command. That's right, Counter-Strike had a Konami code. It was like typing in Power Overwhelming into StarCraft or typing Rosebud into The Sims. Imagine paying money for cheats when they're in the game for free. The fact that this was in the game was stupid number one. Stupid number two was that once this cheat was discovered, people used it inside of Faceit matches, including professional players. What do you think is gonna happen? Everybody who got caught using it, Faceit handed out a 2-year ban. Serves them right for cheating. Listen, just because it's easy to cheat doesn't mean it's okay. The two players who got banned were on Eternal Fire's junior team. This is a Turkish team that has gotten prominence recently. They had a really great showing at the major, and I can have empathy for these kids. They made one stupid decision and they've screwed up their careers. Young people are stupid and they do stupid things. Everybody knows this, everybody's known this since the beginning of time. The entire business model of Faceit, the only thing that they have with their pug system is that you can play the game there without people cheating. That's the biggest selling point. Obviously, they're gonna crack down hard for anybody cheating on their platform in any way. It makes perfect sense, it's completely understandable. But beyond the silly console command cheating scandal, there's a lot more cheaters in high-rating Premiere matches, way more than there used to be. I think TheWarOwl is a good barometer for problems in Counter-Strike. I'm like Waffle House with natural disasters. If the Waffle House is closed, something is terribly, terribly wrong. Run! I still think Counter-Strike 2 has a lot of potential. You have a built-in long-term player base that will always come back to the game. It was one of the top 5 played games on PC in 2023. It beat Valorant, surprisingly. Counter-Strike is the chess of video games, with a gameplay loop that has pretty much been unchanged for decades. I imagine Counter-Strike will be around 20-30 years from now. But the biggest long-term problem that the game has faced since the very beginning, and I've been playing this game 24 years now, it's the cheating. Everybody knows this. How many people have you talked to who have quit the game because of the cheating? I've known a lot. How many of you have convinced your friends to play the game only to come across cheaters and watch them lose all interest immediately? I've heard that story a lot. In the early days of Counter-Strike, and yes, I'm going to back in my day, everything was done through community servers, and moderators would very quickly ban people for cheating. It was a problem that players addressed. We self-policed. So for the most part, it rarely ruined your experience, but there were people that kept it hidden, so I'm mostly talking about rage hacks. Once we got matchmaking with Global Offensive, all of a sudden the potential player base that you come in contact with is everybody, and I mean everybody. We can't just kick people out anymore. For a matchmaking system to work, there needs to be a system in place to detect and ban cheating automatically. There is a permanent, ongoing arms race between cheating and cheat detection. Now, it's much easier to write a cheat than it is to detect a cheat. When I went to college for computer science, there were people in my dorm who created a company to sell cheats for Counter-Strike Source, so I've seen this stuff happening right down the hall. What I've learned is that someone talented can create a homebrewed cheat that really won't be detected. So the main target of the bans are the widely available paid and free cheats out there, where a lot of people are using the same stuff. Counter-Strike's anti-cheat is called Valve Anti-Cheat. It doesn't watch someone play and then determine if someone is cheating based on behavior. It only bans based on hard evidence. If it sees something on your computer is messing with the game, and VAC doesn't ban instantly when it detects something. It waits until a bunch of the same cheats are detected, and then it bans them all at once. This is to help with the cheating arms race. It's to slow down the ability for cheat providers to react to detection, as well as get as many people as they can who would cheat in the ban. Anyway, things have gotten a lot more complicated since I knew about this stuff. I don't understand it anymore on a technical level, but Valve does, and with Global Offensive, they came up with many really smart systems to help curb the problem. One of them was called Trust Factor. Now, what Trust Factor does is it looks at your Steam account, how long you've had it, how many games you have, how long you played Counter-Strike, how many people reported you for cheating, and when you play matchmaking, they put accounts with high Trust Factor against other accounts with high Trust Factor and low with low. The idea is that we'd have clean lobbies where you rarely encounter cheats, and in my opinion, it worked. In Global Offensive, I rarely came across cheating. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree, but I think most people who accuse someone else of cheating, it's because the other guy's just better. They gotcha.
they gotcha.
But one of the negative side effects of Trust Factor is that it destroyed the new player experience. If you're a completely new player, you're gonna have a low trust factor and you're gonna have a bad time. For the game to survive long term, you need new players to have a great experience so that they'll stick around. And you're not gonna be able to convince a new player to go download a third-party system to get around the cheats. They're gonna join the game, they're gonna click play the game, and then they're gonna have a bad time and they're never gonna play it again. To their credit, Valve also came up with a brilliant solution for blatant rage hacks, so like spin bots. They emulated the old ways, the ways of our ancestors, going back to community servers, and created something called Overwatch. Right now, we could really use an Overwatch 2.
But maybe call it something different because that name has been ruined.
Overwatch was a system where trusted players would review demos of suspected cheaters and decide if they should be banned or not. It was a way to quickly get rid of blatant cheats in between the VAC waves. Valve also created an artificial intelligence cheat detection system called Vacnet, which examines demos from every convicted cheater using the Overwatch system, so it's using human decisions as feedback. Let me explain. If I watch a demo of an aimbot or of a spin botter and I look at that and I go, he's cheating, the AI takes my word for it, as well as the word of a bunch of other people watching the same demo, and then it looks at the demo to learn what an aimbotter looks like. Then it looks at all the other demos out there and it finds aimbotters in the wild, and then it feeds those demos back into the Overwatch system. The AI was not banning anybody. It was only used to find suspected cheaters and put it back into Overwatch so that humans would be the ones making the final decision, which I think is very ethical. Valve is big on ethics. They're good guys, but it does unfortunately hold them back a little bit when it comes to dealing with cheaters. When Riot made Valorant to specifically compete with Counter-Strike, they had to solve the biggest problem that Counter-Strike had, the cheating problem, otherwise nobody was gonna play it. Their solution is Riot Vanguard, which is a very aggressive, very intrusive anti-cheat. It uses a kernel mode driver. What does that mean? Well, to simplify, because I am a simple man with a simple mind, their anti-cheat has complete and utter control over your computer. They have the ability to do anything they want with it. They have more control over your computer than you do. If you install a kernel level anti-cheat, your computer is no longer your computer. Here's a truth that's very difficult to accept, especially for people like myself with a tech background. The number of players that Valorant lost by having an intrusive anti-cheat is minuscule compared to the number of players they gained by having a working anti-cheat. For the most part, users do not care about privacy or security. I bet if you asked them, I bet if you said, hey, do you care about privacy or security? They'd say, yeah, of course I do. But then you'd say, hey, put this on your computer, and they'd be like, okay, I want to play the game. I mean, I did. I also think that if a huge company like Riot did abuse the access that they have on your computer and they got caught, that would be GG. All trust gone, the company would be over. It'd be the stupid thing to do. I don't think that they've done it, but they can, they have the power to. So what about Counter-Strike players? Why? We absolutely care about our privacy and security. We wouldn't put that stuff on our computer. Well, no. We have a kernel mode driver that loads on boot. It's called Faceit Anti-Cheat, which is run by a third-party company. It's not run by Valve. In every other game, to play the game the way it was meant to be played, you launch the game and you press the play button, and then you play the game. In Counter-Strike, we need to go through a third-party website, download third-party software, and play on third-party servers with a third-party rating system. This is a dramatic failure on Valve's part to create an ecosystem to play the game. Valve is as bad at making a matchmaking system as Bethesda is at making a game. They rely on the community to come in afterwards and fix it. Counter-Strike 2 was a huge opportunity to solve this problem. They should have used it to solve this problem. This entire history lesson, this entire explanation was to provide context to my point, that Counter-Strike 2 should have had a solution to the cheating problem before launching the game. What a slam dunk that would have been. That should have been and should be the #1 priority for the game. If I were in charge at Valve, I would have poached people from Riot. I would have gone over there and said, hey, you made this nice anti-cheat that works. Come work for us. We have lots of money. I would have poached people from Faceit. Hey, you have experience working with Counter-Strike. Come over here and help us out. I would have implemented Vacnet with Overwatch at launch, and they can still do this. They can still implement that system, but the game's been out for so long. It's been out for so many months, and we haven't had anything in regards to anti-cheat. Normally when I make videos like this, I offer my own ideas, my own solution, because I want to be helpful and I think whining never solves anything. But this is an issue where I'm completely out of my depth. The people working at Valve are highly talented, self-motivated people with nearly unlimited resources. But what I know to be true, the anti-cheat in CS2 should have been and should still be the #1 priority. I've played all those other other games, I always come back to Counter-Strike. There's a lot of pretenders, but there's nothing like it. It's a game where your character doesn't get better, you get better. Where with the correct application of skill and cunning, you can always come back and win. The mechanics are smooth and responsive. They reward the better and the smarter player. It's easy to understand, difficult to learn, and takes a lifetime to master. I'm not quitting Counter-Strike like a lot of people on the internet have been saying about me. I'm just not gonna play matchmaking or premiere mode until they fix this cheater problem and come up with some kind of a solution to it. I wanted to make this video to give my thoughts on this because a lot of people seem to be saying what they think are my thoughts about it, and I wanted to say what actually I think about the thing that I'm saying right now that I'm doing. It's time for the plot twist of the video. If you think this is all exaggerated and that no one's actually cheating and that you just need to get good and play better, all the footage that you have been watching in this video is actually from official Valve matchmaking servers, and everybody that I've shown has not been banned from the game. All of this footage comes from you, players who sent me in the demos, so I know the demos are coming from Steam servers. This is what is happening. This is a snapshot of what matchmaking looks like right now. There will always be cheating in any game and anything that you do in life because the root of the problem is at the core of human nature. I don't want to think about all that stuff though. I just want to play some Counter-Strike. Thank you folks very much for watching. I'm TheWarOwl and I still have no closer. Feel like I'm forgetting something.